All right. It is Wednesday night, 8:30-ish. No, it's 8 o'clock.
8:05-ish. 8:05-ish.
8:05, 8:05-ish. And we are back live once again. This is conversation with Luv Doc. We have the coach. We
How everybody doing?
we are down one. The educator sends her.
Man down.
We one person down. She's battling the element. So wish her a speedy recovery. But we decided to bring in a guest tonight. So we're very thankful and welcome that give us some of your time. Dr. Gretchen, welcome to the conversation.
Glad to be on. Thank you.
Okay. Anything you want before we get going, while we give everybody a chance to make sure they own their particular devices, like, share, and all that. Anything you want to say? Dr. Gretchen?
I just wanted to say I really enjoy the show. I think that everyone brings a wealth of knowledge. I enjoy hearing you, Luv Doc, and Coach Higgins, as well as Alexia. I just really enjoy it. So looking forward to learning and gleaning more information on tonight as well.
All right. Well, thank you for having it. We maybe hope you feel the same way at the end that you feel at the beginning. But give y'all about another minute, then we'll get going. All right. So first question, and mixed signals. Mixed signals. Who is more guilty of giving them, men or women?
We always let ladies first, so you know.
Well, I'll definitely chime in on that. I think that women are, we're groomed to allow the man to chase. So sometimes those mixed signals can be given as an illusion. I'm doing that representative stage just so that, you know, we can enjoy that chase, that male innate hunter stage, so that pursuit. So we may give that mixed signal that either we're not interested or that we're nonchalant or aloof, just to see the chase, to see the initiation of the chase.
Okay, so in other words, they women playing hard to get.
Yes.
Crack it down in a nutshell. They playing hard to get. I can agree to that to a certain extent that women do give off that because they'll act as if they're not interested in Doc. We talked about this before, how they are already playing in a mindset that, you know, that they know what they want, they know how they want to go by it. So that's part of their trap. As you know, you want to call it, as part of their trap. What they want to do is play. They want to play it, and then throw that bait out there and see if we're gonna bite it on the first throw.
And sometimes we'll go back to throughout the relationship just to keep that need of validation going, to see if he's still interested, to see if we still have it. Hope I'm not giving away too much information, ladies.
So what happens if you do that and make it seem as though, you know, you're not interested, then he take that for what it is, and you're interested, but now all of a sudden he ain't even feeling it.
And you know, it's a flip side to that too, because then you can also give all and show your hand, and because men like to pursue, they like to chase, they rather go for the hard to get. So I guess you kind of have to find that balance.
You're right about that. Mm-hmm. You're actually right about that.
Got to know when to code switch, I guess.
Yeah. Because I can see, you know, you meet, you know, not even actually meet, but you run into somebody that you instantly can, you know, become interested in, and then it's like, you know, dang, you know, she ain't feeling me right now because she ain't giving that vibe. And all the while, she actually caught my attention. No, I actually caught her attention before she caught mine.
So, but Coach, can you tell me, like, how long should that pursuit last? Like, we know that that's your innate being. How long should we let that pursuit go on before we even show our hand that we are interested?
Well, I know I was very persistent and consistent with me. So I didn't let it stop me from, going by every day, stopping by the office, peeping my head, and continue speaking. And it's just like, at first I think she was like, okay. So I initiated the conversation. I felt as though it was like I made it earlier that I had saw it in the past. And just so happened God allowed our paths to cross again. So when I seen her, I was like, oh yeah, like in my head, I'm at her, I'm gonna get her. So I'm constantly stopping by, speaking, making up conversations and just carrying on. And then I think, it just one thing led to another, and she became more, talkative with me. And I think, like Doc said, they already know.
We do know.
I think she already knew, and now the rest is history. We
she knew.
She knew. I do, she do, and we doing it.
The thing is, Coach, when you went by, if it would have been a total like no type of flicker, no type of energy. I mean, I don't care how you're a very confident guy, but I don't know, the most confident guy ain't gonna keep taking L's,
Right.
So you had to get some type of energy that, okay, it may only be like today it might have been 7%. Next time it might have been 11%. Like, okay, the next time it might have been 9%, but as long as you get in the flick of something, you're like, okay, I can keep stopping by and just creating conversation. But if it was 0, 0, 0, -2, you'd be like, man.
I would stop, because I would have been like, man, you know what? It'll probably came across back then at that time. Possibly like, she ain't all that. She ain't got to act like that. And then I would have stopped.
Yeah. We don't need much, but we needed something. So you wouldn't be getting nothing. You'd have been like, nah, I'm good, bro. Like, I can't get this, so, but I mean, but like you said, she gave off some type of energy that she was interested.
Right.
So if she's interested, why are we chasing when it's why are we chasing when there is interest?
Interest there.
Interest. What we doing? Why we pump faking?
We all grown.
We sitting here both in front of each other. We already know what it is. Why?
But do you all state that you're interested?
But it's obvious.
Yeah. Sometimes you won't even have to state the obvious.
It's obvious. If the energy I'm giving you is clear, that you don't want to get in this energy. And even though I ain't necessarily saying the word, everything else is saying it. We ain't blind. We like you say, Coach, we grown. You know what it looked like. Whether you hear it or not, you know what it looked like.
But we know that men are very literal. So because of that, I think we look to hear it. I think women need to hear. They need the validation, the affirmation to hear it. And so that still doesn't mean we let up on not wanting you all to pursue, because we have egos too, but we realize that men not have egos. When you look at the statistics of the numbers.
In other words, Doc, they just want us to say we thirsty for them.
I'm just like, man, what we doing, man? Come on, man. We know what it is. It'd be different if we didn't know what it was. We know what it is. Let's quit.
Right. We want that, and to know that we're the only one, Well, you know how men like to have trophies. Y'all getting y'all little pats and K's, and it's trophy time. So we want to know we're the only trophy on the shelf.
Correct. However, when we get to that point, we shouldn't have to go through all that, though. Now, it rolls back to when a man, if he just want a fling or just something to do, you know, of course it's going to be known because we want to put it out there in the beginning. Like this is what we're doing. You know, I'm not looking for anything serious. However, if we want something serious, we letting you know. We throwing it out there.
You letting us know what, verbally or through actions?
Actions, because y'all say actions speak louder than words, so we're gonna go ahead and put the actions out there. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's like you want it, and then when you get it, like, what is it that we doing? You know, So now y'all together, right?
Right.
Y'all dating, y'all kicking it, whatever you want to call it. Y'all together. Next question, I guess, topic, whatever. What if this happens? What is it called? What is communicating with someone behind your mate's back and not telling them? Is that cheating or disloyalty or neither?
Cheating.
Why is cheating?
That's emotional attachment.
I'm not saying. I'm just asking. Like, why is it cheating?
That's emotional attachments. What would be the purpose of having behind the scene conversations? I feel like if you have to do that, that should be my friend too. We can have a 3-way call.
And guess what? Wait, it ain't got to be no 3-way call because that's so 1990. We ain't did that since 1990 with the landline phones. So right now we sticking with, you know, hey, I introduce you, you introduce me, whatever the case may be. And you know, I don't feel like it's disloyalty. I don't feel like it's cheating.
What's the point of having the behind the scene conversations?
I mean, why would you consider being
okay? Well, I can agree with that. Have the conversations, but why behind the scenes? I mean, just step to the other side of the room and say, "Hey, girl, da da da, whatever." Why does it have to be in discreet or disclosure? Why do you have to step outside?
Okay, so if I'm just having a conversation and you're not around, or the female not around, and you feel because you don't know, what will make it discreet? Because you don't know?
What? Okay, so here's my question. What, for one thing, to counter question what's being stated,
okay,
what's the purpose of the conversation? That would be a question. Okay. You know, that it would have to even go to the level of being discreet. Because you do want to be in a relationship where you can trust one another. But because men do not see everything and women are very smart and can see a lot of different things, you might need your significant other, your wife, to be in the know to kind of help steer you. Because, you know, people are clever in their endeavors and they can be very cunning and not be appreciative of the fact that you are involved. So women can see that. They can see that even if you're talking to a male or a female. They can see right off the bat, oh, I would be a question of that one. I'll watch that one. See, this is why you have to have that.
Is there an act? Because what I'm hearing is y'all are clever, but in other words, you're saying we're not clever because we see things too now. I'm just asking. I'm not accusing. I'm just asking because we see things too. But here go the thing. Here it is, Doc. If we say something to the female about her having a conversation behind our back, it's always nothing. It's just a friend. Now, if we turn around and we say that same thing, you're like, it ain't just no friends. I could tell. No. Y'all see that? We see it too, though.
Because there's never no isolated friends, especially once you hit the point of exclusivity or a marriage. There's no, these are my friends. These are now our friends.
And that is absolutely right. These are our friends because I introduced you into my circle. You introduced me into your circle. But the thing is, like, again, if it's the woman coming at the man, she's acting off of emotions.
No. We're solely operating off of
Emotion.
protection. We're trying to ensure that you're not blindsided.
Let me look at this question again, because now you see. Well, let me say this though. If I'm communicating and it's unknowingly by you, the female, if it's unknowingly, why would you consider it being cheating or disloyal? Because if you find out and you looking at the female a certain way, there's don't kill me, don't slit my throat, but that's a bit of jealousy that y'all carry though. And jealousy is an emotion, right?
I agree. I think it just depends on, like, okay, let's say for instance, I'm dating someone. His friend called, I'm at the store. Okay, casual banter, go ahead, go for it. I don't really need to know about that. But if she called and she just, chatting about her day, they're, having this nice discourse about the afternoon or the weekend. Okay, that's Tuesday. Is she gonna call back Wednesday? Does she need to call back Thursday? Or even Friday? Like,
maybe
at some point,
it could be a female best friend.
Oh no. I don't test that at all.
You don't believe that a man and a woman could be best friends and not have nothing attached.
I totally disagree. For me, I should be my man best friend.
Okay.
And if he's finding that in someone else, or he's allowing someone else to find that in him, they're touching on very, treacherous territory that anything can go wrong.
Doc,
you're just setting yourself up.
What if you came into the situation where they were already friends before he even met you?
Well, then we gonna all three be friends.
That's fine. That is fine though. But if they were best friends before that he already met you, what? And if she called on a continuous basis, how would you feel?
She's gonna learn to respect my position, because y'all are best friends. That's great, but you don't need to call my man every night at 9 o'clock to discuss your day.
See, first of all, then he should already know to set the boundary, or she should already know, because if she coming in, if it's coming in a relationship, and that their relationship, I think she's gonna be more respectful and not call that time of night. So that's a real friend. That's a real friend.
I agree with you on that. A real true best friend will respect the fact that he now has a woman. So I can accept the fact that, he has a best friend that's a female. But I need him to realize, if she's not considering boundaries at this point, then is she truly a friend, or does she have an ulterior motive?
So what if that friendship was?
Oh, I was just gonna say, Lex's, it's not necessarily an ex. It's just, the point was, I read it, I saw a clip, and the dude was just essentially saying it was Meek Mill was talking to Gilly. I don't know if y'all follow Gilly podcast, and Meek Mill essentially said, and they were saying, if she talking to the dude behind his back and not telling him, he was like, it's disloyalty, and Gillen was like, it's cheating. So they was like, or is it cheating? Or they said both. And so that's where I got it from. So he's essentially just saying, if your woman talking to a dude behind and ain't telling you, then to them it's cheating and disloyal. However, whatever the intent.
Okay.
The fact that she's not telling you, it didn't say the dude would be an ex or anything. It didn't say Dominique, if it was marriage or dating, it just said it was like your chick. So I don't know if that cleared up a little more. I saw a couple people asking in the chat.
Okay, I see that now. So, but then it goes back to saying that if this friendship was there before the relationship started, and even if it was there before the relationship started, so now again, like Doc said, you got to have some boundaries. There should be boundaries, but I feel the friend should automatically know because if the friend know that this relationship is serious and it is what it is, that friend is going to respect that and say, and also that friend is going to do whatever it takes to keep you in that relationship, because I'm quite sure that was translated to the friend about you going into that relationship. Now, the Meek Mill situation, if old girl just talking, and he don't know about it, it's some issues there. It's some issues.
I know I've been in situations where great guy friends, and unbeknownst to me, after some time, they show interest. You know, sometimes I guess it's an intellectual attraction, emotional, physical.
Mm-hmm.
But somewhere along that line, opposite sex friendships that are that deep, all kind of neurons are going off, and hormones, endorphins, and it's like
all that.
Then you get buckets filled. This one sees my hair, or this one recognizes my outfit. It's just my best friend, though. He sees the new shoes, like, oh, girl, those are nice. When you go home, your husband, he don't even acknowledge that you got. It can kind of get blurry to me after some time.
So you're saying that if it's things that the friend noticed but the significant other doesn't notice, then that's an issue.
Well, I guess if I, like, let's say if I was seeing someone, and if I tell that significant other, openly, my best friend recognizes everything, and that makes me feel a certain type of way. I guess you just have to have those open communication conversations so that you can be watchful what really fills your bucket and makes you happy. Is he touching into the area of my love language?
Okay, I got you.
That's just, and once again, we're gonna go right into the next topic. Have you seen, Coach? I know you have seen the meme, the Mekhi Phifer meme. I gotta get that picture when he got the cigarette. He just like,
yeah.
I can't stand that meme.
Like when you're dealing with women, man, it's like, geez. So just right into this. I'm gonna. So fellas. And Coach, you can add to this, Dr. Gresham, if you want to. You can want to break the women code. And Lex is in the chat, so she here in spirit. So anytime
she here in spirit, I think it's the appearance that she's trying to hide from us.
Yeah, we're gonna give her a chance to talk. So I'm gonna, y'all two as women representing the women can add to or discredit what I'm about to say. But a couple things, and Coach, you can add a couple things that women. Few things, 3. I'm just saying 3. I'm sure it's much more than 3, but 3 things, 3/a few things. Let me see what Lex said. If I'm in a relationship and I'm probably gonna say nothing else. I mean, could be innocent. I guess the thing would be if it's innocent, why you can't say anything. But that was kind of the gist of why you can't. That's what they were saying. Why you can't tell me. So a few things. 1, excuse me. These are a few things women wish we knew as men. So, fellas, it's just a couple things. Now, it's a laundry list more. I just listed just 3. They can't promise not to be mad if we tell them the truth, but they will be totally pissed if we lie. The second, they want to be the most important thing in your life. And number 3, they know we will never understand them. They just want us to try. Cause we might have a better chance of solving world hunger, global warming, cancer. Well,
so you remember, Coach? You remember? I think it was maybe like, I don't know. It was probably about 3 weeks ago, maybe 4, when I stated that men look for the compliment, women look for the world. it's like a never ending, you know, like if you come in, she done got her eyelashes done, she done got her eyebrows tinted, she done went to her MUA, and all we say is, you know, oh babe, I like your eyelashes, and I'm giving a compliment, but then she comes like, oh, that's all you see. Like, okay, let me get to that if that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like they expect everything. They have to have every little thing, and they can come tell us, oh, baby, you smell good. Oh, I know. Oh, I'm on top of the world. My wife just told me I smell good. I'm ready. Let's go. We going out. We finna hang out a little bit. I'm good. But if she don't get that for a compliment, we got some issues. Women, y'all want it all. So it's like sometimes they can be unpredictable and unsatisfiable to some.
And coach, we love them. We gotta have them. We can't live without them. We can't move without them. But man, it is.
Look here.
Oh man,
you better have.
It is, man.
But it's funny that you guys have that viewpoint but if you date back to creation, we were formed out of you all. So we're that part of you that you need, and that maybe that difficulty is there because we know you guys are problem solvers and very intellectual. So we bring those things to you to help bring the best out of you.
Dominique got a different viewpoint. Dominique say women want you to almost act like another woman. That's totally different. He rebuked everything you just said.
Yeah.
That's true too.
It is something truth to that.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I don't think he off that far.
Nope. I have to agree with that one. We almost do. We need that protector. We need that strong man of valor, of strength, of honor, so we can submit and reverence and give you kudos and honor you. But at the end of the day, we do want you to see it all. Recognize the eyelashes, the lipstick, the shoes, the perfume, everything.
That's another.
And Doc, let her dress be twisted in the back, and we see it and we don't say nothing. Man, the whole world finna just go in destruction. Like, you ain't tell me that. But look, baby, I just told you look good. But my dress ain't straight in the back. Here we go.
We want you to see those details. We do. It just makes our day that you guys can acknowledge it and recognize it. Yeah. And then it's how you say it. Baby, you sure look good in that. Come in, let me fix that for you. It's how you say it in love. Yeah.
So
I know it could be a little Hallmarkish show.
If we just say, so if I say, baby, your hair nice. Is that an okay compliment?
It just depends. Sometimes it depends on when you say it. In the morning time, that's great. We go through the day and we take on so much in this brutal world. So by the time we get home, our buckets are a little empty at times. And we're responsible for filling our own bucket. But we want you guys to bring the overflow. So, if you're like, baby, you know what? Oh, you are so beautiful. Man, let's just go out. Put on this dress. Let's just go. It just fills us back up. It releases those hormones that we need, that with serotonin and all of that, so we can be like, yes, I'm noticed, I'm seen. But men want it too. Men want validation as well.
We want validation, but we don't require as much validation to make our day go right. They don't make them. Hey. Listen, them producers don't made it hard for us.
Hey,
the producers made it hard for us.
Oh, that's all. Go, Dominique, man. I don't even know where you at, boss. But how Mark be like, I don't know how we got here.
They made it hard. The producers made it hard for us.
Who saw Dominique is on?
I told him today. I told him to come on and check it out.
How we got here, wherever you at, bro. But we here, man. Like,
listen. Them producers made it hard for us, but when I'm talking about Love Jones and
Dominique wants to be stroked too. Come on there, Dominique. You want your woman to say, boy, you know you changed that tire for me. Come on now. You know you want to hear that.
So,
Baby, when you carry them bags in, whew, you want that ego stroke.
When your man bring them bags in like that, and you see him bringing them bags in like that, he ain't gonna be able to come back outside because you don't snatch them up in the room.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Well, so we can't get no work done.
We can't get nothing done, and then we wrong for that. So listen, we had a lose-lose situation because we don't go in the room with you, or we do go in the room with you, and we come out like, well, dang, man, you ain't there. Well, wait a minute, I was getting to that before you interrupted me.
I was trying to get some stuff done, man.
We know that erotic love doesn't last long, so it's just getting to that point, past that stage. Because after a while, it's you get into other levels of love. So
okay.
All right. So that's the stuff that the women that we feel like women need want to know, right?
Right.
So these are just, and fellas, y'all that's single don't hurt me. But some things that single men, coaching, you can probably relate to this because you've been both. So a couple things that single men may not understand about married men. So your single self compared to your married self. So the first thing that you as a single man, I'm gonna say a couple, coach, and then you kind of chop in or whatever. Okay. So this is just me. This is me today, just in my head, just writing stuff out. So these are 4 things that single men, and I've been both too, so I guess I'm on the other side. I've had experience on both sides. 4 things single men may not understand about married men. Number 1, and Dominique, you can tell me if I'm off or not either. Single men, man, I said, so married men, they need to be home at a decent time. This is a choice built from respect. Number 2, yes, they call and check in. As a husband, it is a responsibility and it is considerate. Number 3, they are not brand new just because they have other married friends. Like people will hang out together. It does not mean they put you down. They just pick up some more along the way. And number 4, and this is a tough one, they cannot be your wingman anymore for obvious reasons. Those are 4 things that married men, that single men may not understand about married men.
I have to. I gotta 100% agree with that. And well, I guess that can fall up under the, pretty much hanging out at the wee hours of the night and not having to worry about checking in. So what the single friends or the single men have to understand is when you make that vow and that covenant and y'all become one, all that stuff is ceased because you now got someone to go home to. Even if you got somebody and you're not married, but you still you can't hang out no more. You can't hang out like that no more. So I think that for a single man to understand that, they have to actually understand and they gotta actually like be okay with that. Because like you stated earlier that you acting brand new now. No, I ain't acting brand new. I got responsibilities that I need to adhere to and take care of and make sure that I don't mess it up, because then that's the case. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna be right back where you at. And I made the decision not to be single no more. So why would I want to go and jeopardize anything to put me back in that situation? So, and I should have wrote that down. You're saying, what was the other thing that you say? One of the 4 things.
All right, let me pull them back up. Dominique is deep in thought about it.
Yeah, I see that.
Why was just he pontificating on the response. All right, so 4 things single men may not understand about married men. 1, they need to be home at a decent hour. That's just built off a choice. It's a choice built off respect. Number 2, yes.
Okay, let's pause right there, Doc. Let's pause right there. Number 1, so that's a choice built off of respect. So if my single friend, which I don't have many single friends, if I'm with my single friend and he know that, okay, we hanging out, but I ain't finna be out too long because I gotta get home. It ain't the type of get home before the street lights. It's the type of get home that, you know, you got your wife at home. So if he respect that, then we should be cool with that. If he don't respect that, then it's like, you don't even respect my marriage. So if he can't respect my marriage, then it's like, bro, I can't be out here with you. I can't, because then guess what the wife gonna say? You out all times of night with him. Like, he ain't got nobody to come home to. You do.
Yeah.
So that's an argument that I'm not going to say an argument trying to avoid. That's an argument I'm not even trying to indulge in.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll do 1 by 1. So number 2, yes, they call and check in. As a husband, it is a responsibility and it is considerate. Is it a responsibility? We know it's considerate. Is it a responsibility?
I think it's a responsibility because it's a responsibility being married too. So if I'm out hanging out and it ain't got to be late. If we at one place and then say, you know, we finna hit somewhere else and just me out of courtesy, and they ain't really out of courtesy, but I just say, you know, I hit the call, hey babe, we finna go up here to this bar and have a couple drinks. And I'm coming home after that. She knows because anything could happen. If something happened and she thinks I'm at one place and I'm not at that place, so now it's a worry to her because I'm not there. So her last known whereabouts of me, I'm not even there. So that's you know, as a woman, they get married, they get worried. And we know when women get worried, Dr. Gretchen, when y'all get worried,
the mind wanders.
And then your mind be like, okay,
yes.
He ain't there. Where he at?
Yes. Naturally so. We're concerned. We're nurturers.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So, number 3. They are not brand new just because they have other married friends. Like, people will hang out together. It does not mean they put you down. They just pick up some more along the way.
Is that on the same lines as if we go out? And first of all, Dominique, that's true. If it was the other way around, I'm gonna need that same respect too. So I'm gonna need for her to call and say, hey babe, you know, we leaving here, or we just left this place, or we here. I need that same energy that I'm giving that. So I agree with that. So now back to that. Is that in pertaining to, like, you know, if and then necessarily like your friends and my friends, but we go out and it's couples, but why can't the single friend hang out with us? Is that on the same lines? I'm at that. That's my question. Is that on the same? Because I can move forward if I know if that's on the same line. Because I know sometimes you have that friend that come out and hang with the married couples, and then they can meet somebody, but then they can also be that third leg, the oddball, or the extra person. Yeah, I'm agree with number 3.
I agree with that, Dominique.
That's why I'm asking, because I mean, why would I want? No, I wouldn't want to. That's an uncomfortable situation. You got couples, and then you got this person by themselves. Not saying in a bad way, but I'm not going to invite you out knowing that you're not with someone. Now, if it's a place where I know you can mingle and meet somebody, hey, come on out. Maybe you can find you somebody or meet somebody. But if it's just a casual outing, I'm not going to want that single person to fit, because that's going to put them in a tough situation.
Okay. All right. And number 4, they cannot be your wingman anymore for obvious reasons.
I agree, they can't.
Hey, it's y'all in the Hall of Fame, man, but you gotta go and hang up. You gotta walk off like George, man. You can't keep coming back from that one.
Father time come in and you can't hang out like that no more. You gotta put them cleats up, man. Cause hey, it's done, it's over with. I got paid.
Yeah, I don't tell you, I done hung up the cleats. I done drop the mic, what they say.
Drop the mic.
And I done moved on, man. That's tough. That's tough it's tough to go into the Hall of Fame, even though you've had a Hall of Fame career, because that makes you not want to that makes you not want to stop, because you know half of that is the rush. And once you put it down, the rush is over. The thrill is gone. It's a lot of thrill seekers.
All right, now, Doc.
Okay.
Does that go both ways? Does it go both ways? Do that go both ways now? Because if y'all expecting this of us, then it has to be expected of y'all too.
I can respect that. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Less is more. You see the conversation get real limited. You saw that, Coach? It gets real.
That's it. It was just one like a couple word sentences, and that's it.
You sitting there waiting for more because you've been getting more all night. Now that's okay. All right. Sometimes they say the less you speak is really, speaking more. So, all right. So we in a relationship, right? So we know what the women looking for, the men kind of. As you get as this married guy, he about to be married, he in that situation. So we talked about the men part of it. So what are wifely / womanly duties? So the side of the women, because how much has that changed? What are today's womanly / wifely duties? How much has that changed from back in the day?
Well, I'm old school, so I have to speak on this. I believe in that. I know Dominique's going to say movies, watching too much TV, but I believe in all that. I'm going to honor him. I don't mind fixing his plate. I don't mind rubbing his back. I just don't mind, I do expect it to be reciprocated at times, but, I don't mind honoring the man of God in my life. So I'm good with that.
So, Coach,
yes,
has the wifely womanly duties changed in today's woman?
So if we go back to comparing to the traditional versus the now, there's some change in it. However, I do see there's more of a teamwork thing in it with the wifely, womanly doing the duties, because if I can see the man helping out. Now, you have to look at it. Sometimes the man will go in and do the dishes. He'll help clean up. He'll help do laundry, fold clothes. Because then it was just, that's what the wife or the woman was always doing traditional days. So you have a lot of men who maturely are into the relationship and don't mind helping out. And we make it the teamwork make the dream work, so to say. Now, if we looking at that to make the relationship at ease or more smooth sail going, easy going, then I feel like that has to be done. So the duties that the woman or the wifely do, I can't just sit back and I can't just sit here rocking back in my recliner and I'm watching her go back and forth sweating, and she go from mopping to, to washing, to folding, to dishes. And I'm just sitting there. I can't do that. Do we have some other men that do that? Some won't, but because some are stuck in that time zone back then to where they expect her to do all that.
But that's what I'm trying to say, Coach. So that's what we grew up on.
Right.
So,
that's what we grew up on.
To Dominique's point earlier, where he said more men are acting like women. If that was how things was back in the day, are men becoming more metrosexual, perhaps, with how they handle stuff as opposed to how the man handled it back in the day?
Well, you know what? I'll say this. A lot of men have transitioned to that metrosexual, but they're not gonna really speak on it because it's an ego thing. Some men maturely wouldn't mind talking about, I help my wife at home, or, I'm gonna wash clothes, I'm gonna fold clothes, I wash dishes, or, it's like, again, they don't have that problem. But you do have some men who still stuck in the egotistical ways that won't let you know that they're doing it. Say, what the hell is a metrosexual? So that alone.
That's the current term for it, Dominique. It's the current male term that's floating around.
Yeah. So that let us know that that alone allows us to take stress off the wife or the woman, and if we're able to do that, if we're able to do that, and it's not able to do it, if we're doing that makes a relationship happy and last longer.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I just just thought I would ask. So, along with that, so Dr. Gresham, you say you're old school. You do the whole,
But I want him to be participatory. I want him to assist and to help. But I do like the idea of catering and honor my man. I do like that, but I do want the assistance. I don't expect him to just be lackadaisical and just chilling and seeing me sweat and huff and puff, and I'm working as well. So
that's true. And then also, and along with what Dominique just said about men can do it all, cook, clean, work, etc. And he just like that. My grandma told me the same thing. My grandma taught me how to cook. If I'm cleaning something and if it wasn't done right, she'll show me the right way to do it. And it's like, women wasn't built like that then. And not to say that in a bad way, but women weren't built. They're not built like they used to back in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I'm reading what it just said, Mr. Sutton. So I feel like, if we're able to do that, then it makes it easier for the relationship. It makes it easier for the relationship. So now, some men may feel as though they don't need to be in a relationship or they don't need a woman. Now, we're going back to women need men, men need women. Regardless if it's finance dominancy or, the women wear the pants and I ain't gonna say with her pants. She's more of she's the breadwinner. Her job, pays more than what his job is. Again, we can't look at that. We can't get into this battle of who makes more, and the person that don't make the most should be home doing all the duties. You work a 9 to 5, I work a 9 to 5. We both sweating our behinds off. It just so happened you got the opportunity to work to get a better paying job, but we still working. So also back to the question about has it changed? I received yes, it's changed because women work 9 to 5 nowadays, so she's working just like the man, and so responsibility has to be shared. Back in the day, men worked and provided while the wife stayed home to do all those wifely duties. And 2023 is not like that anymore because everybody's working. Now, if I hit the lottery, or if I just came up on a $200,000 a year job where my wife don't have to work, do I expect her to be doing all that? That's gonna be something that she be like, well, I might as well, because she ain't gonna sit home. She ain't gonna sit home and not do nothing.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice, Dominique. I like that too. Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
My boy on it right though.
Okay.
So it's Dominique spoke on his grandma raising him. Coach, you said yours too.
Yeah.
Dr. Gretchen, you talked about being, traditional, old school. So that
was from my grandmother too. She's like
okay. Even in some cases, the when you do get to the point where it's you about to have a ceremony to marry, the wedding vows, that's changed as it relates to the woman. I don't know if y'all saw this in some women, not all women. It was a clip on social media the other day. It kind of went viral where they was at the altar. The pastor is going, having the woman, repeat after me, repeat the vows or whatever. He got to the part about obeying your husband, and she wouldn't say it. She wouldn't repeat it, and she was like, "We ain't talk about that in counseling," and it went viral. And so the question was, she said they talk about, was she foul? Was she what's up? Like, she got that point. She was saying, repeating right after the pastor. They got to the point about obey, and she wouldn't. And people was laughing, but she wouldn't say it. Now it cut off, so I don't know if she actually did say it, but she didn't say it. She said we didn't talk about that in counseling. So now we saying we changing the vows. That's been traditional for years. Back in the day, and plenty of women done said that part of it. But is that the new thing now? And this whole independent, Bootsy spelled that. Stage with. Yeah, that happened. It went viral. So what's your thoughts on that?
Dr. Gretchen, go ahead.
Well, again, my grandmother, she dropped some heavy jewels before I was married at the time. And, I just adopted that ideology at 26, to love, honor, and obey. And I realized at the time I was very different from my peers and friends. But it seemed like it worked for me, even though the marriage did not last. But I had the notion of just to submit to my husband and to adopt biblical practices and principles to ensure that my marriage was honoring God. And I did it willingly. So I know that the way I think is very unorthodox in comparison to other women. Some, maybe. But I felt like the things she was telling me to do, along with the importance of the vows, were important and valid at the time. I still have some of those same beliefs. But, there's some contingencies, I think it's important to, because your marriage is unto God. So in my opinion, and so with it being unto God, he doesn't condone us to be stupid, and he does give us free will. So I'm not obeying a man that's going to abuse me emotionally, mentally, physically. But however, if he is doing the best that he can, and his vows is unto God, and he is honoring God first, and then putting us next, then that kind of man I can follow, because I know he's following Christ. And that's not to over spiritualize it, but to me, the vows for me are unto my relationship to God. It's a direct pyramid triangle to God that I'm doing and conducting myself and making decisions that's going to honor God. And as a result, my husband will benefit, or will benefit from that.
So I'm that way too. My grandma raised me, and I always vision, a woman that went about the same way that she did, spiritually, and making sure that the family is taken care of. But my thing is, there had to be some red flags that was shown for her to not want to repeat that. So even before the counseling, if that wasn't never stated, it didn't have to be stated in counseling. Because if how you want me to be your provider, how you want me to be your protector, and yet and still you can't obey and respect, because if you can't obey, then you don't respect. So how you want me to respect you, and how you want me to be respectful and obey when you can't obey and respect, and you ain't even, but you want me to be there for you. Like, it's not like I'm making you like I'm the master and you the slave. It's not, we're not talking like that, because we know that's not what the relationship is built on. So if you want me to be your protector, you want me to be your man, you want me to be that stand-up guy for you. Because if we out, get this though, if we out and somebody disrespect you, and you be disrespecting me, you don't obey or honor me, and I don't react, how would you feel? Because now I go out and I check this man for disrespecting you, but then we get back home and here it is, you acting like hell on wheels, and you can't even, and it's like it's submissive in a good way. Because if you can't obey your man, then you're not being submissive. And people take submissive, they take that word and they just they utilize it the wrong way. So and I like what Ms. Sutton said, the person has demonstrated being a leader, provider, protector, loyal, faithful, trustworthy, and consistent. There should be no way that she's going to follow and obey. Now, he had to have seen this before they even went to counseling. He ignored them red flags. And when you ignore those red flags, that means you just like, what the relationship built off of.
Can you sign off on that, on those vows, without her saying those words?
No. Because that's a commitment before God and before man, before your husband. So you're making that commitment. That's a lifelong commitment. And whether or not the relationship or the marriage lasts, you're still making that commitment. So you can't, that's a no-go for me. Because you're telling me you're going to marry me, but you're not going to obey me. What you marry me for? Not that that's solely being the reason why we get married, but that's a big part of it, to love, to honor, to cherish, to obey. That's big. So if you that and really those things go hand in hand. So if I'm not cherishing you, I ain't obeying you either. Because
say that part again. If you're not cherishing,
if I don't cherish you, I'm not going to obey you. Because here's the thing: you have a situation in the household, and it's like you don't want this to happen, and not just because you don't want it to happen, but it could be reasons why, and you give those reasons why. and you're supposed to trust your husband. You're supposed to trust your husband. So if your husband doesn't want to go far along with something, you should be okay. Like if it's a reason, now he giving you that reason, and you can't let him lead that way, and you can't follow him, and you can't trust that this is why he don't want this to happen. There it is. that could be part of it too. But if you can't obey his decisions, since she was so reluctant and didn't want to say obey him, if you can't obey his decisions, like why are you with him?
So if it's you, well, she can't say obey, we can't follow through on it.
No, we're gonna have to stop that ceremony.
And maybe the pastor felt like, that was just understood. And so, because it was some of the comments like how they got to the altar and they didn't know that they hadn't discussed that. And like you saying, that's just for the most part, that's the vows. It's like, okay, no, that's what it is. So it ain't like they just snuck them in there. Everybody said the same thing. So and they was like, maybe the pastor just didn't feel like he had to talk about it because he just like some stuff, you can't talk about everything in counseling, but some stuff you feel like it's just, okay, we already know that's, you're going to say, this is what we're going to say. We ain't got to rerehearse that, the actual words, because you repeating after me. So,
and love, if it's got to be rehearsed or it's got to be discussed, then the marriage is an act.
Wow.
It ain't real.
Wow.
I have to love the person.
Wow. I agree with Kay on that one too. And you, Coach. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. That
true. Whole dating phase is very interesting to really see a true description of what it would be like to be in a full-fledged marriage.
And you have to know your partner. That's why the dating phase has to take place.
So to that point, how, and we can say from a male and a female perspective, right? So something that I've learned here recently, just as I'm just trying to continue to learn and grow, and some stuff I'm going to look for, and some stuff is being brought right to my, doorstep. I've learned about narcissism. Coach, you probably know about this, and Dr. Gretchen, you probably know about this, but this is very new to me. Narcissists, as far as how they act and how they move, probably the classic one that I can think of when I put a visual. I don't know if y'all watched the BET, the Sisters, Tyler Perry show that come on.
Yeah.
The dude Gary, that's with the girl Andy, the lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, when I think of narcissist, as far as what I've learned, that's the image that come to mind for me. But it's like a movie series that came out a long time ago, and I just saw it recently, and it's been out for a while. I'm so late. Called Dirty John, Coach. I don't know. But it's like this guy's it's based off a true story. This guy's like a classic, I guess, a narcissist. But this lady was missing all these signs, and her kids saw them. It's like everybody around them saw her. Like, I guess nowadays they call them red flags. All these red flags that the woman just either couldn't see, and then when they started saying, "Look, Mom,"
and that is really that's severe. That if those are not recognized or identified, then that's a problem. You want to make sure that those flags are. I mean, that's something that has to be identified very early. If you don't do that, then you're liable to just set yourself up for something detrimental. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that just really set off for me because those flags really give you them signs.
But that's the thing. How many women, and I guess men too, don't act on those flags or those signs, and then you get, because we're talking about the relationship and obeying. when you have known all that, I guess I'm kind of tying all this in, but with that whole narcissist thing, it's like either they hide it very well, or you just are gonna see what you want to see, or you to the opposite end, you don't see what you don't want to see. So
I agree with that last statement. The heart will blind you. When you're led by emotions, that heart will make excuses for those flags, ignore those flags.
And I agree as well too.
Once you tap into that emotional piece,
yeah. and that's the thing. Straight. Just like you say, like what's the group H-Town? Emotions make you cry sometimes. You know, like when a person get emotionally attached, they tend to overlook the things that need to be dealt with. So when you overlook some of the things that need to be dealt with, now speaking on this narcissist guy, because when a person is narcissistic, it's like they are full of themselves, and at some point it's like the world belongs to them. The world belongs to them. So everything revolves around them, and they expect people to move by them. Like when I move, then you can move, or like when I wink, then you can wink. And for men, now we can't throw this all on us, because there's some narcissistic women that think that they don't stink, and they feel as though that, you know, it's a privilege to be with them. And that ain't no. We ain't even rocking and rolling on that right now.
Plus, I think that when you're dealing with an empathic person who is a filler, who's emotional, is their leading target, they tend to be attracted to narcissistic, or that light within them draws that type of attention of a narcissistic person, because they see this good-hearted person and they know they think they can take advantage of that person.
So go ahead, Love.
You go ahead, Coach. Go ahead.
So I don't know. I don't know. I've never felt like I was a narcissistic person, and I don't think, because I don't think fully of myself. Now I do have self-confidence, but I don't think
you're not a
narc. I just said when I, growing up, I knew I was the man, but see, people be like, oh, you think you all that? Because no, I got self-confidence in myself,
You're not a narc, Coach. You have your wife is definitely blessed to have you. You have a very empathetic heart, but you're definitely not a narcissist. Narcissists are so self-centered, right, that they're selfish. They only see themselves. They're very egotistical. They cannot accept wrong, and they almost like they don't have a heart. And I don't put you in that category.
Oh no. I mean, I wouldn't even allow anybody to even associate me to that category. So because I can't see myself being that selfish, because I think of others too much, and sometimes that can be a disadvantage too. You just have to, you got to know your heart, and you got to channel your heart. But you got people out here that just think that they the world.
And a narcissist will find a very codependent person.
That was a child. Lord. That was a child.
but a narcissist will find a codependent person, and they would take full advantage of that person and abuse and use them.
And they will use and abuse you, and then move right along to the next where they can use and abuse them as well. And it's sad that we have those people out there. There you go, Miss Sutton. They'll take accountability for nothing.
For me, I guess I'm just so late. Like, it's like this is it's so normal, and it's like you watching like I watch Marvel stuff, right? So they got this new season on Disney of Secret Invasion with Captain Fury, Samuel L. Jackson.
See, I've been trying to get time to watch that, so I need to get
man, a new episode come every Wednesday. So this new episode came tonight. Matter of fact, hey, so anywho, this series is they got these things called scrolls. And it's like they walking amongst us, so they look just like us, so they like shapeshifters. And so on when they like get killed, they go back to their normal like alien form. But other than that, they look just like you could be a scroll, Dr. Gretchen could be a scroll, Miss Sutton could be a scroll, Dominique could be a scroll, and you looking just like you look. You wouldn't know it until they die. But the point is, so you don't know who is real and who is not. So it's like for all this time, I've been walking around. And I didn't even know nothing about this whole what a narcissist was, but it's like plenty of people are walking around that are that. So it's like I'm like you starting to like people becoming scrolls, if that makes sense. Like I'm like recognizing like, dang, that's a narcissist.
And then there's two obvious types. There's covert and overt. You have people who are aggressively narcissistic people. You know, for lack of better terms, we see them in politics, and they usually like govern businesses. They have a notion of greed. They're very aggressive in who they are, and they don't see themselves as doing no wrong. That's a very, very overt narcissist. Then you have covert, those who are very subtle, who are passive aggressive. You don't even know it. They're very subtle until things do not go their way, and then you kind of see how manipulative they are in getting you to feel a certain type of way. And they look for people that they can take advantage of. Those that seem easy to do so. Vulnerable, easy.
What I said, Dominique, that's the image. I literally just said that's
yeah.
That's what I think of. Like that dude is classic. Like I'm sitting there like, well, dang. Because I'm sitting there wondering like how in the world does Andy keep going back and dealing with this dude? Like, what in the world? Like, it makes no sense at all to nobody but her homegirls, the dude the lady at the diner serving the eggs over easy. Everybody like, what are you doing? Like the police,
but then it's almost like Andy, like it's almost like she don't have no confidence in herself. Like her self-esteem is low or something.
And you like one of the top lawyers at your home firm. Like, girl, you sitting here like walking in that office like you run that office, and then this dude got you like every which way but like loose. I'm like,
are there codependency issues? You know, I don't watch the show, but you know, are there childhood trauma issues? Like, what is she drawn to?
Gary bought her. She got a lot going on, and Tyler Perry does a good job of writing like broken characters, but he make them so relatable that you be like, girl, like. But anyway, this dude bought her with a brand new Bentley. This brand new car brought like a brand new loft.
He talking about don't watch it.
And but it's like, but she got money.
But that don't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything.
Well, no. What honestly, it's like, you know, she can actually do for herself, but how it's portrayed is like she is almost like she needs him, and he knows that.
But that's offering her some type of validation. Like, are there daddy issues? You know, or is there security concerns?
Well, I mean, you know, he backstory of he wrote the character, but it's like it's like you sitting there. I get the way he write it where you be like, this got to be something, because none of this makes sense. But it's like it's so clear to her. Right. And I guess so I'm like, he is the picture of this narcissist thing. So now you get in this marriage and this relationship like y'all talking about, you ain't said obey to the point where this dude sitting here like he on the whole other end of it. So how does all of that happen? Like, how do you get there? So is that female, is she a narcissist because she says she won't say obey? That narcissistic behavior, I guess.
Yeah, it could be. And that's and again, I have to say submissive, but some people take submissive and be like, oh, you using submissive as like, oh, I got to do this, or I got to do that, or I need to bow down to you. No, it ain't. No, submissive is being loyal, being loyal, loving, caring. That's all the stuff that's in them vows. So if I can be submissive, if I can be a submissive husband, you should be able to be a submissive wife.
I like that, Coach. Yeah.
So she's saying she's not gonna recite the word obey after the preacher just said that. Well, we might need to walk down this aisle not holding hands, because it sounds like, and I ain't, but the way the way you just gave it, love, is just like, she like, oh, I ain't doing that. Now
she's going to be a problem in that marriage.
She's already a problem. It's just gonna be written as like signed on that paper that she's a problem. She's already a problem.
Huge problem. Okay. And I'm my sister's keeper, but she's gonna be a problem.
and I say the same thing Miss Sutton say. They should discuss this before, even if it was okay, it wasn't discussed. But at what point, like when he proposed or y'all talked about it, this conversation had to come up. So you just skip that. Hey, I want to marry. Okay, let's go. We ain't really got to do much in this counseling. Well, the woman leaves her father and mother and cleave to the husband. Okay, cool. Okay, let's go. Y'all skipped all the other stuff. Like, that's why I say, what was the purpose of the dating? Because you had to have dated to know something about your significant other. If you dated them just for the sex, then you should have dated them for the sex. Don't let the sex lead to the marriage. Because now you're just acting off of sex. So that's what happens when the sex ain't good no more. Because you got nothing to build off of to make it better.
So it's doomed. It's doomed before it starts.
It's doomed before it starts.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all we had for tonight. So, Dr. Gretchen, thank you for
with
us. We appreciate the energy, different perspective, So and the energy was good, vibe was good. So thank you for giving us a little bit of your time.
Thank you.
Our co-host, hopefully other co-host, Educator, Miss Alexis. Hopefully you get well soon, and we
get that bug got you, girl.
That bug got you. Get you out the way. Thank you everybody in the chats for good conversation. A lot of good conversation tonight. And thank y'all for continuing to support us as we try to learn and grow with each other, and grow this platform to have these discussions built on respect and education, because that's all of us are educators or being educated, and we always got room to learn, whether we want to admit it or not. So thank y'all once again, and until next time, y'all be safe.
Be safe out there.
We'll do it again next time. Y'all be easy. Good night.